This is my favorite part, which is learning by doing. And that's how I learn, by actually doing. I'm a very kinesthetic learner, so that's the approach that we are going to take. So what we're going to focus on now is what success skills that you actually will want to be teaching or integrating into your health class. And we are going to learn by doing, and we're going to start with breath counting. And you have a handout to give you. Have the handout that is the skill development model for breath counting, and that's the very first one in your packet. And so we're going to go through this step by step. We're going to start with why it's important, and I've already answered those questions. We're just following this model that is on the ladder or the steps that are down there on the poster, but it's inverted. So step one is at the very top, why it's important. And so this is to develop calm and focus. What is breath counting? So breath counting is a way of noticing the breath and guiding the breath by actually counting as you take an inhale and counting as you exhale. And you can do that on counts of 3 and 3, you can do 5 and 5, you can do 3 and 5. We'll do that in just a minute. And so what does mastery look like? So of course we want to share this with students before we actually start the process so that they know, because they're like, yeah, I'm breathing. But what does mastery look like? So you're going to go ahead and set that in the step one. So here are the steps for breath counting. So let's try it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to anchor and be present in the moment. So I'm going to invite you to come slide forward in your chair, to bring your feet in front of you so that you feel grounded, so that you feel your feet connected. And then I'm going to ask you if you want to rock back and forth a little bit to join me with that. Just noticing where you are in space, noticing where you are on your chair, and then finding a place where your hips feel balanced. I'm going to invite you to slide your hands behind your knees. The purpose of that for your students is to get their elbows at their sides. That gets the chest open, more space for the breath. Slide the shoulders back, slide the head back so that you feel that you are aligned. And then you have the choice of bringing a hand to your heart and to your belly, or your palms can flip up. The choice is the eyes close or the gaze is focused softly on the floor. I want you to notice your inhale, and I invite you to draw the inhale slowly and smoothly through your nose, and then notice your exhale, and that can be either through the nose or through soft lips. Now again, I'm going to remind you, there's no judgment here. Just notice. Notice if you're breathing quickly or if it's a slow breath. Notice where your breath is moving. You can follow the breath like a detective, moving into the body, and then observing like a detective as it moves out. We're going to take 3 calming breaths. Taking a breath in through the nose and then releasing it. We'll do that again, inhaling and exhaling. And then one more, inhaling, exhaling. And then with an inhale, let your eyes float open. So you don't have to share aloud, but just take this time to reflect how you're feeling. And then we're going to try it with the breath counting. So if you want to change your hands or move around a little bit, you're welcome to do that. We're going to start with breath counting 3 in and 3 out. So when you're ready, eyes close or focus softly on the floor. Place your hands. We're grounding. We're noticing. We're accepting. We're going to take a deep inhale on a count of 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Continue. Let's do that 2 more times. And when you're finished with that second round of breath, release your hands, and on an inhale, let your eyes float open. So that's typically for balance, right? That balanced inhale for 3, exhale for 3. If you want to take it to the next level, you can try that for 5, and that's going to encourage your students to take a deeper, fuller breath. We're going to take just a moment. Notice how you're feeling. And now we're going to try a 3-5. And this is for letting go. So letting go of things. You're inhaling for 3 and exhaling for 5. Letting go of anything that you know doesn't serve you on that 5. Right? Thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, all right. Place your hands. Find your gaze. Or close your eyes. Starting by just simply noticing the inhale coming into the body. Again, complete acceptance, a focus on this present moment. Noticing your exhales as they leave the body. And now we're going to try this for the 3-5. When you're ready, we're going to inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue. Let's do 2 more rounds. And on the 3rd inhale, you can release your hands and let your eyes float open. And then take that moment when the eyes open to reflect. Just notice how you're feeling. Notice any emotions that might be arising and how that feels in your body. And then we'll turn our attention back up here. So step 3 was model the breath counting. So I did that. I modeled with you, right? I participated with you. Sharing examples and non-examples. I don't tend to like to go negative because there's a lot of research that says don't show a non-example. That just teaches someone what not to do. But what are some things you might notice your students doing that you would want to gently coach or correct? Fidgeting. So not maybe encourage them a little more grounding, or just give them more opportunity to get comfortable in their chair. Maybe they do better back here, or maybe it's okay to be here. What else might they do?
Not participate.
And that's okay, really. As long as they're not bothering anyone. You'd be surprised how many students will not participate in class, but then they will tell you later that they're doing this all the time.
Yeah. We had a mindfulness room, so every day they started school with that, what we just did. And then, like for me at least, that was my first step in redirecting the kids. So rather than sending them out of the room or to ISAP or to where they got in trouble, I could give them a pass to the mindfulness room. So if they're acting out or not doing what I asked them to do, I could be like, here, they take this, they spend time focusing on their breathing, calming themselves down, redirecting whatever they needed, and then they could come back to class and there was no repercussions for them. So it was created as an outlet for our students, but then also, at least for me, as a teaching tool, it became a, not necessarily a negative reinforcement for them, but something that got them out of class, got them out of what we were doing, but also when they left there, every time they came back, and I can say that with 100% confidence, they were like, they did what I asked them to do.
It's
or
neat.
if they didn't do what I asked them to do, they at least were not causing disruption to what I had going on. So
That's wonderful that Fairfield had that school-wide opportunity, but a lot of teachers, if you don't have that school-wide, build a little calm down spot or a breathing space in their classroom.
it really, really, really reinforced me just being around it all last year, like, wow. And that was our deal. You don't have to do this. You just can't disrupt what we've got going on. And it took 3 minutes, if that.
Wow.
And just flipping the hands up is participation as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned too. And most kids, they might not, but they'll kind of just, I mean, that's, and then everybody's on board. Okay, so I hate to offer a non-example, but holding your breath. And then sometimes, everybody does better with a why. So, if you say slide up here, slide the elbows back, sometimes you'll see kids kind of doing this, right? This makes it difficult to get the breath into the body. So I typically encourage by saying, if you have asthma like I do, or, for our athletes who want to get, a good deep breath into the body, just slide the elbows back. That's going to open up your chest. And typically, students who are kind of here will just slide up and bring the elbows back, even if they don't want to close their eyes or, do that kind of thing. All right, we practice breath counting in authentic ways. So, it's great to start your class this way, but, if there are times that you feel like maybe, this would be a real world learning experience. We're getting ready to take a quiz, or what are some other things you could do that would be authentic?
Just test anxiety and stuff. Like, we offered a whole mindfulness program for the kids who are getting ready to take MAP tests or the ACT or things like that. They could go there before they went to take the test, just to settle down and collect their thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
We've done it right after lunch. We come back because they just ate a pound of sugar. So just try to get them refocused from lunch.
My personal favorite was fire alarm. Anytime that you had like a loud jarring sound, or any time where there was something going on, right, that kind of brought people up here, it helps to give them an opportunity to settle. And then offer feedback, self-assessment for opportunities for continuous improvement. I said take a moment to think about how you're feeling right now. That's an opportunity for them to self-assess. If you've tied this kind of thing to a student self-assessment inventory or to their dashboard, give them an opportunity to take the time to do that. And then create opportunities to extend the learning. I know you coach basketball and soccer, so that would be something that you could take to practice.
Yeah, we do it at the end of practice.
Perfect. Yeah. Or like, you're getting ready to do free throw practice or, PK practice. That's a great time to be doing those things. You're nodding yes. How would you extend it, Elmir?
In the same way, but the way I did it at Johnsontown Road Elementary, it was for the kids, I guess, who didn't go on field trips or weren't allowed. They're like really disturbed. I welcomed them to the PE room because we didn't have any of the kids. So instead of them like going and doing like mindless things, we just brought them to the PE room. We did yoga and mindful breathing to like calm them down, and then they could play whatever game, whatever they wanted in the PE room.
That's awesome. I love that.
You have helping kids fall asleep, and we know that adolescents don't get enough sleep and go, have their phones on or their lights on and in the room and all of that. So that would be a good application in a health class.
All right. Any questions, comments before we go to our next skill? How about reflection? Could you see ways to integrate this into your health class? Any ways we haven't shared already?
Well, actually, like fights happen too in high school and middle school. So like after a fight, instead of the teacher being like crazy, after getting the situation resolved, I guess we can all go into a mindful breathing as a classroom and then get everything back to normal.
That's a great
teacher,
example.
Student confrontation, anything like that gets people aroused.
Yeah, that's a great example.
I know a teacher who does it, but she says, I need a moment. And kids know when you need a moment. And if you're modeling that for them, I think that's a great time to do it.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. The question I always had to ask myself when I was in a classroom was, do I want to model my students' behavior or do I want them to model my behavior? Matter of fact, I would give students an opportunity to grab whatever card they wanted. I'd have like lots of different photos, but I try to choose photos where, you have a very positive looking body language, very open, receptive. We're going to start with affirmation. You can either silently affirm or you can affirm aloud. I feel healthy and strong. I feel happy. I feel peaceful. And then at the bottom, there's the reflection. How do affirmative words make me feel? And then you take a moment just to think about that. Now let's flip it over. Kind mind practice to myself, showing compassion for myself. And this time I'm going to invite you to say this aloud with me, just so we have the opportunity to try that. May I feel healthy and strong. May I feel happy. May I feel peaceful. And then our reflection. How do kind words make me feel? Comments, questions? Reflection on your teaching practice. Would you use this? How would you use it? You're saying yes?
I would use it. I mean, I don't know. I guess I would use it daily as a little reminder to make it a habit of getting positive thoughts in your head. So, before class or whatever, have a little affirmation, meditation. where they can either silently or what you said, do it out loud. But I don't know if I would do it out loud because out loud is kind of embarrassing. I know at Tony Robbins, this is something he does as a group thing. So like you scream out loud things that you like, positive things you believe about yourself. So like I am kind, I am loved, blah blah blah. But you scream it in that group, you know, so you'll really believe it. But I don't know if I'll go that far. But I know I would do it every day just to have a habit built up of speaking kind words to yourself or about yourself.
Anybody else? Just another tool, right? And sometimes you know you have the tool and you don't know how you're going to use it, and then suddenly you think, I've got it. I'm going to do it this way.
You have there's all these videos where little kids, their parents are telling them kind and positive words to say to themselves in the mirror, and like the kids are repeating them, and it's kind of like a poem in a way, but it's something that they repeat like every morning.
Yes.
And I always thought that was it. It was just, you know, waking up and already getting on that positive, you know, well, being positive about yourself. 'Cause, you know, there's hard days, you know, and you have to be realistic.
There's another video that went viral. It was this teacher who spent like 2 minutes a day with each student and just telling them like nice things about them, like you're smart, you're blah blah blah. Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
There's something called a compliment car wash where you get you're lined up this way, and then let's say I'm the first one to go through the car wash, and then I go back and forth, and it's just the compliment. And boy, talk about uncomfortable, right? It's hard to hear those positive things about yourself, but it's also a wonderful way to build community.
You know, that's a skill you can teach them too, to take it in. You have to learn to receive, don't you? And take it in and believe it.
Yeah.
Instead of deflecting it. So there's another skill.
Something like that on the last day of school. We take papers on our back, and you had to go around and write one positive thing to each person. They took the paper off their back and saw they may not know who wrote it, but they got to see positive things about themselves.
So, because we have this tape that plays in our head all day, the self-talk tape. And is the self-talk tape usually positive? No. So that we want to change it so it's positive. I'm prepared, I'm confident, I'm ready, I got this. Yeah. I'm smart, I'm pretty. You know, all those things that, especially at the secondary level, you know, we can maybe not tell ourselves. So, did you have a final comment before we go to the next?
Yeah, I remember, because every time, because I work at Outback and Captain Quarters, so there's a lot of servers. So, but if I give, somebody a compliment or whatever, if a girl cut her hair, and I say, hey, your hair looks nice, whatever, she's like, oh, but I don't like the way she did, you know what I mean? They don't know how to understand.
Yes, but.
People can't take compliments for real, you know? They'll find a way to make it not a compliment.
Yeah. Instead of just the thank you.
Yeah, thank you, I know, it doesn't look great, I just love it. I don't know.
That's teaching that skill.
Yeah.
Point that out to them.
Or for coaches, right? How many times has your player come off the field and if you didn't win and you say, great game, Sam, it's like, no. Yeah. You might have had a great game.
Even on a win. Mm-hmm. I've had softball players come off, they missed the ball, but we still won, but they're so reflective of that one error that they made, they didn't look at it as a whole of the winning game.
It's easy to spiral down in that. So what we want to do is we want to lift up, and not just lift up the people around us, but lift ourselves up. We want to be that model of that behavior.
In reading the May I Feel, I kept thinking I have a choice to do this versus the I feel. It's almost the I feel one kind of reminded me of a placebo effect in a way.
Yeah.
Like you're telling yourself, even though this diet pill is going to make me super thin, it could just be water, but the way I feel makes me, and that was, I feel made me feel like that, but then the May I Feel made me think that I have a choice.
Yes.
I can feel this way.
I started to make the affirmations I am, but then I was being a little bit, in my head on this, right? I was being a little maybe over, because I thought, well, if you are a person who maybe you are unwell, for our students who are going through a health crisis like cancer or something like that, then I thought, well, maybe we'll go with I feel, but you can change the wording any way that you want. The important thing here is that you just stay positive.
Sure. And I think that like I had a college coach who had a huge influence on me, and he like preached to us is the easiest way to put it about our attitudes and how to control our attitudes. And he had all these like one-liners. No matter when you saw him, what was going on. I mean, his house could have just blown up. Hey, coach, how's it going? Man, if I was any better, I'd have to take medication for it. Like, he was just driven on the only thing I can control in my life is my attitude. So I'm going to make sure that my attitude is positive no matter what. And at the time, when I was a freshman or sophomore in college, I just kind of thought, like, come on, man. Like, no, I just saw what happened. Like, you're not having a good day. I just saw our interaction as I exited the playing field. And you are, but I mean, that was just his mentality. And I think that I took a lot from that. And at the, like you said, at the time, displaying that to kids and being that way all the time, because you can control that. You guys know, if you spend any time in the classroom, everybody has the period that they're like, the bell rings, you're like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to go in there. But if you feel that way before you walk in, like, they won. Your day, you're already.
They know. They can tell
you're
you
10
when you
steps
walk in.
behind.
So you're going to do intention setting before
Well,
class
yeah, I mean,
too.
I just think that that's on you. Like, as the adult, and the more that you show them that, the more that they'll start buying into it of like, maybe he's on to something. Like,
And as much as they don't want to admit, they love structure. And like the breeding stuff, we've done it before. They moan and groan about it, but it's like the third or fourth day, then the same kids that are moaning are like,
yeah. Or if you
This is
skipped it because of whatever.
Yeah.
Whoa.
today.
I thought you hated this.